Grill, and I had a chance earlier today to talk with Chris Fowler, fresh off of his stint with the U.S. Open. But his assignment this weekend is Penn State and Auburn. So naturally, Wes, I asked him this question. Is Alabama's dominance good from a national perspective for college football just overall? So there you go. That's the question I went with Chris Fowler. Would you like to hear the response?
Well, absolutely.
What do you think?
No.
No. That's the quick and simple answer. I don't think the dominance by any program at the top is really good for a sport that's as regional in terms of tribal passion as college football. And I think that there's different ways to quantify that. Actually, I think that one of the things that has been, frankly, I've talked about this before. It's no mystery. It's nothing against Alabama. You should try to be as excellent as you can every year and dominate and win all the trophies you can. That's the whole point of everything, right? And you can't hate them for trying. You can't hate them for being as committed as they are and bringing every resource to bear. But the fact is, there is fatigue at the top of the sport on a national level. And it's not just Alabama. It's all the same teams that have been fighting for playoff spots and getting into the 14 bracket in recent years. And as I said earlier, losses by Clemson and Ohio State bring people, wait a minute, let's come back under the tent here. Maybe it's not going to be the same four teams. Maybe there's a chance of having fresh blood in the playoff. Maybe there are more contenders than we thought. But Alabama punishing people early, and as I said, going into the swamp is one of those games where your antenna is up, both as an Alabama supporter and player, but also as a national person. If they go in there and dominate Florida, it's just more reinforcement of where they are at the moment and how they're able to reload. It's unprecedented, as you know, following them, to be able to reload from losing whatever is half a dozen first-round draft picks on offense and then go in there and have a guy that has not played the position before at the college level come in and be as good as Young is and have the supporting cast and everything else. We knew they were going to be tough on defense. But no, you want to have the idea, college football, if you're going to view it as competing with other sports have much more parity and much more balance. And the cast of contenders, the complexion changes somewhat season to season. I mean, we know that, the Chiefs are still good. We know the top teams in the NFL are not going to change every year, but the opportunity exists to make a big improvement and jump into it and contend. And we've seen that, in the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball. There's just a lot more balance than there is in college football. And that is one of the things that I think does hamper the growth of the playoff and the popularity of the playoff. Even if you expand the playoff, okay, now you've got more participation, but is the Final Four any different? I mean, you're going to go to Tuscaloosa and win a quarterfinal game? Good luck with that. Will we get the same teams in contention for it? I really think that we're in a period of time where, yes, it would be good for the sport to have more teams in the playoff mix from all regions of the country and more teams that have the perceived potential to win a championship. Because I've said this before, the number of teams that potentially can make the playoff, okay, there's whatever number you put on that, 12, 10, the number of teams that can win 2 playoff games and leave with the trophy while beating Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma along the way. Smaller, tiny number, actually, in the minds of most people. Now, maybe something happened this year to shake things up, but that's how it looks. So, no, one team being seen as a given, hand them the trophy, that's not good for any sport. And I think Bama fans shouldn't care about that, but that is the reality if you view it from a national perspective.
That is Chris Fowler. Had a chance to hop on that Zoom. He'll be on the call for Auburn traveling to Penn State. And also on the call is Andy Burcham, the voice of the Auburn Tigers, who's kind enough to join us here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. How are you, Andy?
Steve Wes, I'm doing well. I hope you're having a good meal tonight at Baumhauer's.
Always.
Good.
So through 2 games, what have you learned about this Auburn football team, Andy?
Well, I think we've learned that it is for the most part, it's been an organized ball club. I would say the first half against Alabama State was not its best, but we saw what it can do in the third quarter of that game. We have seen Auburn establish the downhill running game that Brian Harsin has talked about as far as his offense is concerned. We have seen Auburn do a very good job of eliminating the opponent's running game through 2 contests, but that's Akron and Alabama State. And Auburn will get a vastly different test when it goes to Happy Valley Saturday night.
But wouldn't you say, like you said, I was talking to several of my great Auburn friends, and they were saying, they're just happy to see a lot of the younger guys getting in games, because in the past they wouldn't get in, they wouldn't play as many people because these games would be close for whatever reason. They'd play down to their opposition. They play down to it.
Sure.
And just the organization and the things he says. I mean, it seems like it's a young Coach Saban talking. The little things that he's expected these players to do, and it just gives me a good feeling that Auburn's hired the right guy.
I would agree with you on all of those fronts. And I think what we've seen the first 2 games, you have to like what you've seen the first 2 games. The way that Auburn's run the game, the way that Tank Bigsby has picked up where he left off from a year ago, what we've seen from Jarquez Hunter as that backup tailback in his first 2 collegiate games. He's the first one since Ontario McCaleb to rush for 100 yards in his first 2 games as an Auburn Tiger. And so you got to like the way that, and I like the young receiving corps with a couple of the veterans. I like the way Chedrick Jackson has played in his first 2 games this year. I like the way that Demetrius Robertson has stepped in after transferring from Georgia. I like his presence in that lineup. I like the fact that Auburn has indeed thrown to the tight end in the first 2 games. And I like everything I've seen about this offense, and I think Bo Nix has taken a step forward for this Auburn offense. And we've seen some young guys get into the ball games. And you have to like all of that defensively. I like the way that Auburn has played on that defensive front. Auburn has been able to put constant pressure on the quarterback in the first 2 games. Zacoby McClain and Owen Papo are as advertised. I would not trade those 2 linebackers for anybody else in the country. I think they are fabulous in this Auburn defense. And then I like the way that this secondary has played, and it's kind of played the way we thought it would play. That was, other than your 2 interior linebackers, that secondary was depth, and that secondary was experience. And I like the way that those guys have played so far. So, listen, I think so far, considering the circumstances, considering the opponents, you have to like what you see. But there's a big qualifier. Does Auburn carry that momentum, and do we see that kind of execution against the number 10 team on the road in front of 106,000 fans Saturday night?
That stadium's loud. They dug it out, and you can, if you go down to the field before the game, you want a hot dog, you can get one from the third guy in the row on the Auburn bench. I played at that stadium before, and it is loud, and you'll get sick of the little lines screeching during the game too. But the people are nice. I think it's awesome. A lot of my friends are going up to the game, and it's more SEC schools need to be playing, especially early in the year. These teams from up north that have all these old traditions and old stadiums. That are nice, and it's going to be fun to watch. I mean, it's just a different game. But I'm afraid the 2 teams. I think the point spread's 5 or 6. If it's at 5 now, I think that should be the over/under. with with Penn State's defense and Auburn's defense. So it's going to be interesting to watch this game.
A 3-2 Mississippi State game. Is that what you're telling me?
I think it's important if Auburn can find a way to score early and get on top, like they did Texas A&M. I think they can win this game. I think this is a winnable game for the Auburn Tigers. What say you?
I agree. I think it's a very winnable game for Auburn. I like the way this team has played defense. And listen, I'm not trying to diminish what the atmosphere is going to be like Saturday night. I mean, it's going to be tough. But Auburn's played in front of these kind of atmospheres every year when you go to Death Valley on a Saturday night. Auburn has been to Clemson on a Saturday night. Auburn goes routinely every other year into Tuscaloosa and Athens, Georgia. These are tough places to play. 2019 at Florida. That's a really tough place for Auburn to play. So I don't think it's anything new for Auburn. And again, I'm not trying to diminish what the atmosphere is going to be like come Saturday night. And the fact that this is Auburn's first road game of the season, and it's the first road game for this coaching staff and this new Auburn team. I think they all play factors. But to say that this would be brand new and Auburn's never experienced anything like this, that's not correct. Auburn has experienced this, and Auburn experiences this every year, year in and year out, in the Southeastern Conference. Again,
but Andy, I would argue this.
What we'll see at Penn State.
Right. I would argue this. Yes, Auburn has, but the freshmen and sophomores that are playing, they haven't seen a crowd. Right? I mean,
no, they haven't.
And you look at, I'm saying the same thing about Alabama and Florida. All those freshmen and sophomores, they haven't been in front of a hostile crowd. They didn't play it last year at all, and so this will be interesting to see how they. Not that they won't respond positively. It just makes it easy if you go out and get up on top, and you take the crowd out of it.
I agree with you, but a lot of these, especially on this defense, most of these guys are juniors and seniors that are out there. Some are fifth-year seniors. Tony Fair's been in college for 8 years, I think, guy that was started at Indiana State and then transferred from UAB. So I think there's enough veteran presence on this team. Everybody on that offensive line for Auburn is a junior or a senior that starts for Auburn. Your quarterback is a junior. Yes, both of your tailbacks, this will be their first big game situation in Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter. And for a good portion of these wide receivers, it will be the same thing. But I think there's enough veterans out there. And what Brian Harsin, he mentioned it last night on Tiger Talk, what he has mentioned, what he has, told his team, things are going to happen. This is going to be a loud stadium. There's going to be some adversity. How do we respond to that is the big question mark. Not if something happens, because it will. Penn State's a good ball club. This is 106,000. It's their whiteout game. They're going to be pumped. We all know that. How does Auburn respond to that? That's the big question.
And that will be the difference in the game, how they respond to it, no question. And you look at how, to me, early, what I'll be looking for is does Auburn jump off sides on offense. The penalties that you can't have when you're playing against a great defense. That's what I'll be looking for. And if they don't, then they're prepared and they're in the right, and it's not affecting them. That's how crowds affect. I'll be looking at the same thing in Florida Field. When you play young guys, sometimes they think too much, and then the count goes out the window. Anyway, it's just going to be. But what a game to go to! This will be awesome. This will be a game you remember forever.
Well, it will be my first football game at Penn State. I've been there for basketball 20 years ago. So it won't be my first trip to State College, but it'll be my first there for a football game. And I've heard many stories from people that have been there, that are Penn State alums, and I'm looking forward to this. This is Auburn's first football game on a Big Ten campus since 1931.
Wow.
Auburn played at Wisconsin in 1931 and tied the Badgers at 7. So the game has changed a great deal since 1931. I'm glad that Auburn is one of those teams that's going. into Big Ten territory. How much we'll see this moving moving forward with the alliance, with the Pac-12, and the other conferences, the ACC. I don't know. Will we see more of these kind of games? I don't know if we will or not. I hope we do. I like the fact that Auburn is venturing out. I like the fact that Auburn is playing this game. I can't wait to see Penn State come back to Auburn. I mean, I know they've been to Tuscaloosa a number of times. I'm looking forward to the time that the Nittany Lions come to Jordan-Hare Stadium, and Auburn can talk about its traditions there. So, yes, it's a brand new experience for all of us. I can't wait to get on that team plane tomorrow and get up to State College and get ready for that game Saturday night.
Well, I'm not sure that Penn State's not running that 1931 Wisconsin offense now.
Well, I you know what, though? This is a different Penn State team than when we saw Joe Paterno on the sideline. They open it up a little bit more. We're seeing more of a running quarterback than we saw back in the 60s and the 70s out of a Penn State team. Sean Clifford is a multi-threat as a quarterback. They have, their top tailback returning after missing all of last year with an injury. They have an outstanding wide receiver who's also one of the very best punt returners in the country. So there are some explosive weapons that Auburn will be tested by Saturday night in this Penn State offense.
The other major storyline, as at least the week has progressed, as we're talking with Andy Burcham, the voice of the Auburn Tigers right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, is Bo Nix road versus Bo Nix home. So far, what have you seen out of Bo in this new system, Andy?
Well, I think you have to like what you've seen. I mean, he was 20 of 22 against Akron. Granted, he was given time to throw the football. He spread it around. He was composed. We watched, you could see him going through his progressions. But Penn State's going to try and put pressure on him. I mean, other than Alabama and Clemson in the last decade, no defense has put more pressure on a quarterback than Penn State. And they're going to try and do that to Bo Nix Saturday night. So how well Auburn holds the pocket, how well Bo stays in that pocket, and then when he gets out of that pocket, if he needs to, what does he do at that point? Does he use his feet, try and get out of traffic and run? He hasn't had to do that hardly at all in the first two ball games. Or are there times where he gets out of the pocket too quick and we see, Bo on the road from the last couple of years? But let's remember this. I think it's generalized that Bo is really good at home and he's not very good on the road. But, a year ago, he struggled, no question, at South Carolina and Georgia. But he also won games at Mississippi State and Ole Miss and made big passes late in both of those games to get Auburn wins. And we saw what he did as a true freshman in his very first game. It was not, a consistently great performance in that win against Oregon, but that was on the road. It was not at Oregon, but it was a road. It was away from Jordan-Hare Stadium. So
in Atlanta. Yeah.
Let's wait and see. Listen, there's a lot of questions to be answered in this game Saturday night. Auburn has played well the first 2 weeks. What does Auburn do this Saturday night against a really good team on its home field is another big question mark at this point.
Well, Andy, you're so right. Last year against Ole Miss, he made some incredible plays to win that game. He not only did he have something to do with it, in my opinion, he was the reason they won that game. And now you look, and if they protect Bo, if they protect him and give him time to throw the ball, he'll eat them up. It's hard to go 20 for 22 in warm up.
That's a good way to put it. And you're right. You're exactly right. And he threw it around. It was not just a receiver or two. It was that receiving core. It was the tight end. It was Tank Bigsby out of the backfield. And here's another question, guys. And I don't have the answer until Saturday night. How much of Auburn's offense have we seen in the first 2 weeks of the season?
Yeah. That is something I heard out of James Franklin in his press conference about even though they've gone through both tapes in the first two games, but they also went through South Carolina film, Colorado State film, Vanderbilt film,
sure.
just to kind of it's amazing to see the broad brush that James Franklin and the crew up there have had to pull from for this game.
Well, and I don't think Auburn is just relying on the Wisconsin and Ball State film to try and see what Penn State is doing either. I think they're going back and taking a look at games from a year ago on what this team can do. But, a year ago they didn't have Noah Kane at tailback. And he was a record-setting freshman tailback and was injured in the very first series of the very first game that lost to Indiana. So they're a different offense from last year, this year with Kane back and healthy. And they will throw to him a lot. They've thrown to him a lot out of the backfield so far this season. But the biggest difference, I think, as far as scouting a team is Auburn has that Wisconsin film. And that's a big game, obviously, for Penn State. And it was on the road. So I think Auburn learns a little bit more from Penn State in its game film this year than perhaps Penn State does of Auburn for its first 2 games this season.
Finally, Andy, it's been fun to listen to these press conferences and kind of get a little nugget here and there, especially as the season is progressing with Coach Harsin. Whose smoothie was cold down there at Auburn?
I don't know the answer to that. I remember.
Or I guess it was a warm smoothie.
It may have been a warm smoothie. I'm not sure who had the bad smoothie down here. But, it's just one of those things, that things are going to happen. Can't be surprised by it. You've got to move on from it. And that's if that's a bump in the road for Auburn, that's a pretty small bump in the road at this point.
It really is. Safe travels to you, Andy, and I really appreciate the time, sir.
Steve West, guys, have a great day. Appreciate your time.
That is the voice of the Auburn Tigers, Andy Burcham, joining us here on a Thursday evening. We're a little over an hour away from handing things over to the Crimson Tide Sports Network. And, hey, Coach, the Nick Saban Show comes up tonight right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's take our first time out. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrin as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. Great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
Everybody knows the fun begins when you get to the end zone, where you can enjoy half-price apps every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, half-price burgers every Tuesday, plus late-night pizza specials and a spectacular menu that includes jumbo wings, half-pound burgers, Tex-Mex, and an incredible selection of craft beer, and plenty of big-screen TVs. It's all happening at the end zone, 1851 University Drive, 2030 Cecil Ashburn at Jones Valley Station, and coming in early 2022, Mid-City End Zone at 1115 McMurtry next to the Target Shopping Center.
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Still have time to register to win Bob's tickets for the Alabama LSU game. If you want to come up, we've had a smattering of folks to do so, one of which is hopped on a headset, and that is Wolverine Dan here with us at Baumhauer's. What do you say there, Dan?
Well, thanks for having me. I just knocked down some delicious, fresh beer from a tap. And I'm talking fresh.
You're still working on it.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. I can work real hard on that beer because that beer is really good. And we had the hot lips. We decided to go with the Thai chili. Man, that was killer. Okay, and then the gooey fries. I mean, this is all happy hour, guys. This is you can come here and not break the bank and have a good meal. But I'm looking at Wes over here eating this beautiful filet. And then he throws a little etouffee on it. They go, oh, my God. It's It's like he's...
It's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm drooling here. So anyway, it's all good. I'm glad I'm here. I mean, this place is awesome. It's just really
You got the Huskies this weekend.
No, that was last week.
That's last week, and they beat them.
No.
Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Huskies.
Okay. All right. So let's
have Huskies.
Let's talk about
week.
that. Let's talk about that. All right. So we got cupcakes for the last 4 games. You know what? I'm going to stop right there because I come here to talk about one thing, and then I'll hit that real quick. Did you realize? And Wes probably saw it because he reads the paper and whatnot. He's knowledgeable when it comes to football. Did you realize the NFL North? Every team is 0-1.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Has that ever happened? Or I mean,
I'm sure it
you
probably
think so?
has.
Yeah, and I think one division. There's another division that was all of them either won or lost. I think one. I think the Raiders,
the NFC and AFC West, they all won.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one loss. You got, and based on how you lost, you got Minnesota, Detroit, and then you got Chicago, and then Green Bay's last. So Badger Larry's listening. Say, listen, Badger Larry, you got a lot on your plate coming Monday night because our team's not supposed to do nothing, but Green Bay is. So that's a lot more pressure for them.
It's going to be interesting if they're 0-2. And
hand it to Love.
No, I wouldn't. No, I'm not, because you're going to look. They have a problem. You watch if he plays, Aaron Rodgers plays like he did.
Yeah, exactly.
Go watch the tape. He's ducking, trying not to get hit. He played horrible.
He's trying to
and then
save
he acts
himself.
like it's no big deal. Like, oh, it's just one game. Well, we'll see. But it was obvious that he is that team should be one of the top teams coming back. And all the mess that he did in the offseason has hurt that team. And nobody can argue after that performance that it didn't.
They were a home game. They were a home win away from the Super Bowl last year.
So you're saying the fix is in. The cheese got rotten. It's not good.
The fix is
It's like
in.
Limburgers. Smells bad.
It's when you think you're better than the team, the team's going down.
Okay. Well,
how about your quarterback out in Los Angeles with the Rams?
You love that. You got the first pass of the game for him, over 50 yards. Boom! I go, yeah, that's my Matty. Not Matty Ice, but Matt Stafford. I'm so happy for him. He's one of the legitimate good players.
He's a good guy.
Yes, he is.
So the Lions. What's I didn't watch it. Did you see anything that made you have hope?
The only thing I saw from that game was the highlights, of course. We went downtown to Mid-City. There's a lot going on Sundays. It's got a band there. It's really cool. Anyway, what I saw was that they fought. They fought back and made it competitive. That's the only thing I could say. They should have never got it to 41 points, but they came back, and they almost tied the game or possibly won the game. So that shows that the coach still is – the players are buying into what he's saying. You know, I'll bite your one kneecap off, get up again, bite the other one.
Yeah.
So who knows? You know, it's a long process. We've been awful for so many years, and we had bad decisions, bad choices of coaches and players and everything. I think this organization now is going in the right direction.
Well, that's what I wanted to hear.
Badger Larry is on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline.
You're going to go down, cheesehead.
Tap the brakes, my friend. My God, tap the brakes. We're still playing Detroit, okay?
Yeah, okay. All right. You know what? You beat that dog too many times, all of a sudden the dog says, I'm going to bite him. All right, so it's going to happen.
Yeah, well.
And you got a quarterback that wants to go somewhere else.
Barry Sanders was playing the last time I had to worry about Detroit. So.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay. All right, so you hear that? Okay, pal. All right,
At least he's a friend.
Yeah, Larry's a good friend of mine, but he I'm telling you, it's about to go down. I think it's going to happen. But with that said, you know, let's get about my Michigan Wolverines because the real true test.
Well, wait a second, Larry. Do you have anything else?
He's taking my time out. I'm taking my time out.
Because in 3 weeks they'll play their first game when they come to Madison. And we'll talk about
Camp Randall.
Wolverines then. Okay, then we'll talk about it.
Okay. That's what I was about to say, Larry. So, I mean, you know. Okay. All right, so give me a break, all right? All right. Take your wife out to dinner or something, all right?
Thank you, Badger Larry.
All right. Love you, brother.
Just tap the brakes a little bit on
I got your brakes.
It's a little early.
Right.
One game in a 17-game season, so just tap the brakes.
All right, okay, I'll tap it. Start tapping. Anyway, so what I'm saying is when it comes to the Michigan Wolverines, because you don't want to talk about them, the true test is going to be Camp Randall. Right now, I like the running game. I like Michael Hart, the coach. Corman, the running back, and the other running back that's a dynamic duo or almost running for 400 yards a game. And the line is making some holes. So it's promising. But you know what? We still haven't played a quality team, and Jim's record against quality teams or ranked teams is not well. I don't think we've broken the top 25 yet, have we? I don't think so. So
I don't believe so.
You know what? It's good. It's good. I'm glad that we started out 33 or something, 35, and you know it makes the coach and the players realize they got to do something. So,
absolutely. Here's the deal.
Actually, the AP has Michigan 25. So there you go.
Well, still,
you're number 25.
Washington wasn't a great team, but they're a team that could beat you, and you were able to run the ball on them. As long as you can run the ball, you can win games.
But the problem we have is that our quarterback doesn't make mistakes, but he can't get any yardage or throw that many passes. He had 44 or 45 yards for the total last week.
Well, you have two guys combining for 400 yards. What do you need to throw the ball for?
But the problem is, Wes, is when they get involved in the Big Ten, when they play Wisconsin and Penn State, he's not going to have that.
Well, slowly as you go and fake that handoff, there'll be people open. If they keep running, keep doing what they're doing, they'll come open. Now,
okay, all right.
So running the ball, if you can run the ball, you can win football games. Running the ball, stop the run. You can win. That's how you win football games.
Well, obviously the line's doing their job because they're giving these guys holes and they're hitting it. And Corum, when he runs like Michael Hart back in the day when Mike ran for the Wolverines, the guy is only 5'8", 200 pounds, maybe a little bit more, but he's built like a fire hydrant. And man, he hits that hole, and he loves to put his helmet on somebody. And I love running backs like that. You don't find them that often.
You don't, absolutely not.
So,
thank you, Dan.
All right,
appreciate you, brother.
See you, brother.
That is Wolverine Dan joining us live here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Let's do this. I know we're a touch early, but Ed Ogeron is scheduled to talk with the media coming up here in about 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and take our second time out right now. We'll also try to squeeze in some other conversations I had with some other SEC coaches.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing: helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
The forecast calls for football with a strong wind blowing in from training camp.
Football was priority. It's a long football season. It's called tackle football.
A heavy rain of hitting coupled with an afternoon film session. Listen to all the coverage on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
In case you are hopping in the car, maybe wondering what happened to the Braves today, they did not get swept out today by Colorado. Well, they didn't play either. So it was rained out as they'll move on as the Braves only have a handful of games left at home, hanging on to a 3.5-game lead in the NL East. So I don't know if that's good news or bad news, but take that for what it is, which is they didn't lose today. They didn't win today, but they didn't lose today. But if you just keep in mind this from a long-suffering Braves fan, of everything that has happened, including the injury to Ronald Acuna, to be in this position that they're in, I would still give Snit NL Manager of the Year. It's an Alex Anthopoulos GM of the Year, of putting everything together and having this opportunity late in September. I'm overwhelmed how much the Mets have fallen off the table and how much the Phillies just say, nah, I'm good. So, anyway, we'll have continuing Braves coverage for you right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We're also in a holding pattern for the LSU Fighting Tigers as they are back at home. And they will take on the Chippewas of Central Michigan, which already has some SEC experience this fall in Week 1, back when they played Mizzou within 10. Everything okay there, Smokey Mike? Okay. You got that right. Ed Ogeron.
Tremendous week of practice. Our guys were really focused in on the task at hand and get better. And some of the things that we identified on Monday that we didn't do well in the game, coaches did a great job of motivating our team this week. We had a very spirited practice all week. We're getting a lot of our guys back, ready to go. Any questions?
Alexander from The Advocate. I guess just status on some of those guys like Austin Deculus, any of the ones who you're missing in the game you expect to get back this week?
Yeah. We're going to have Austin Deculus. We're going to have Chase High. We have our starting offensive line minus Cam Wire. So that's the first time we've had those guys for a while, and we're very pleased with that.
Hey, Coach. This is Glenn West with LSU Country. I guess just kind of talk about the Central Michigan run game. I know we talked about it a little bit this week. Those guys had a pretty prolific first two games in their running attack. Just what are some of the things you guys have identified that you'll need to kind of slow down, I guess, within that rushing attack?
More different formations, a lot of motions and shifts. That gave us problems in the first game. We have to make sure that we have that solidified. We have to know one gap defense. The motions and shifts cause maybe some confusion in what gap you may have. We got to make sure that we covered that. We worked very hard this week on doing that. And then when we do have the gap, we got to make a tackle and knock them back. These guys have made, the running backs, Lou Nichols have made most guys miss the first tackle. His yards after contact are phenomenal. Fine does a good job. It's a zone and gap scheme and formation. So we're going to get it all. We know we're going to get everything that we've seen that hurt us. We're prepared for it.
And when it comes to Cade York, this would maybe be something that isn't even really a possibility until way down the line. But is he the kind of kicker who could have the talent to go pro after 3 years?
I do believe that. But obviously he has to kick off. And I think he can kick off. I think he has to do two things according to Coach Mack. But I do believe he has a bright future. But I felt the same about Cole. And Cole's not kicking right now. I think that anybody would want a great kicker, they could have him. But I think that with the limited roster, that you have to do two things. And I think Cade could do a great job kicking the ball off.
Hey, Coach, this is William with Tiger Rag. How are you doing?
No, good. How you doing?
Good, sir. A two-part question. The first one, I want to ask you what's his background. Was he the guy maybe helping you bring that running back group along this week and will help with the rotation on Saturday?
Oh, no question. Coach Peace has done a great job of coaching running backs. He's helped us with the running backs. We were able to have an analyst move into a full-time spot because Kevin was out because of an emergency. And George Munoz, who's an experienced coach, has been an offensive coordinator, has helped us in that area.
Second part, and I'm not trying to compare the two coaches, but the background of Coach McElwain as an offensive guy, any similarities with Coach Kelly's offense at Oregon in terms of a lot of stuff to prepare for and shifts and motions and things?
Very similar. Very similar. And I know he's going to see that stuff on film, and he's going to see if we fix it. So we've been practicing. And there's a lot of shifts and formations. He's an experienced coach. He knows how to get in difficult formations that will make you get out of your gap and make explosive plays available. We need to be very sound in what we're doing.
Coach, appreciate the time here this afternoon. How do you feel like the week of practice has gone for your team this week, Coach?
Steve, I think our coaches have done a tremendous job of motivating our team. I've seen more guys in the office studying on their own. We've had some spirited practices. Most of the practices have been inside because of the weather. I think that might have helped us because we wasn't in the heat out there. But our guys are really working hard at the task at hand. They know the things that we have to fix. They feel a sense of urgency, so do I, about us getting better in a hurry. And there are some things that I think we're going to fix this week. We'll always have to fix some stuff, but I think this week you'll see a big improvement.
Yeah, hey, Coach, just one more from me. I mean, what's, I guess, the status of Armani Goodwin? Do you expect him to play? And then also, I just wanted to ask just about kind of the number of guys I'd like to see get out there and get some more reps, obviously before SEC play, and really kind of prove that they can be relied on in conference play. Anybody that stands out?
Well, Armani Goodwin's not going to play this week. Hopefully he's going to play at Mississippi State. Dwight McLaughlin is almost back. He's questionable for this game. Maybe he can play. It'd be nice to see him play, get some reps. Xavier Hill has to get better. He's going to play at tackle. He's going to get a lot of reps. I want to see Corey Connor get more reps. I think he's going to be an outstanding back. But, we got to go guns blazing. We're going our first team to win the football game, and that's our mindset.
Hey, Coach, Matthew Bruni here from 24/7. When you look at Central Michigan's defense, especially in the secondary, what do you see from them stylistically, whether it's man zone, press, bail, just how they go?
Yeah, a lot of cover four, a lot of press, good four-man rush. They're in the right spot at the right time. They're not giving up many explosive plays, only 17 points per game. I think they're doing a very good job of playing sound defense. I do expect that they're going to see some things on film that have hurt us, especially blitz-wise against some formations, and we're probably going to see them again. Any defense, they have a great defensive coordinator. I talked to someone about him today, and I know that he's going to look at the tape. He's going to make sure that we fix it. And there's some things that's going to be challenging, and I think they're going to show us some things that are challenging. We better be ready for it.
And obviously tempo has sort of been a big word for y'all all week. Just how do you feel like y'all have done with that in practice over the last couple of days?
I think we made some improvement in it, and you're going to see it this week. You're going to see it at opportune times. It's going to be part of our package, and we're going to use it more. And that is just not for this week, but as we grow in it, we're going to do it more. So some this week, and I think we're going to be ready for it. I don't know what part of the game you're going to see it, and then we're going to expound on it as the season goes on.
Listening to Ed Ogeron's press conference.
You have kind of a timetable on when you think Glenn Logan could return to play?
Yeah, I think Glenn ran today for the first time. He's out of his boot. I would say, and I'm guessing, I think maybe 2 or 3 more weeks, and that's a guess.
Sorry, I just had one more. We saw Miles throwing before the game yesterday or last week, and it's just light throws and stuff like that. But I mean, are you guys still thinking October, November kind of a game plan for him to start revving things up?
I haven't talked to Bo about it. I haven't talked to Miles about it. We're thinking. I think right now, open date before Alabama, maybe. That would probably be around the time we should get him back.
That is Ed Ogeron. Come on, Coach. I need to go Tigers.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you one other thing. You're defensively about kind of Central Michigan's quarterback and the challenge he presents as a big, strong kid who can throw it around a little bit.
Well, we can't get him a lot of time to throw. He's very accurate, very smart. Got some great receivers. They run challenging routes. We're going to have to get to him with a 4-man rush and give him some pressure and keep him in the pocket. And that's going to be the key to the game. In the passing game is can our corners cover man-to-man, which I think they can. Lock them up, lock up the best receivers, a great rush. That should be our plan most of the year. Hey, guys, go Tigers.
There it is.
So
there it is.
I'm trying to figure out if you can get to him with a 4-man rush, why do you have to play man? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So
you heard that too, didn't you?
Yeah. I think they're going to blitz the heck out of it. That's what he just told me.
What do you think about Miles potentially coming back week before Bama?
You're talking about for the
LSU, Miles Brennan.
Oh.
That was what was asked right there to Ed Ogeron.
I don't think it matters. I think Johnson's quarterback. Quarterback play hadn't been their problem. It's been the offensive defensive line have been whipped. Secondary, defense not tackling very well.
Coming up at the top of the hour, Jordy Arman will be on hand here and talk a little Alabama-Florida action. Game that you can hear right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And we'll talk to Drew about invading the swamp. Let me try to squeeze in at least. I played for you the second half of my Q&A with Lane Kiffin yesterday that kind of went viral. In fact, so much so that even Marlon Humphrey was talking about it last night, of D's, for lack of a better term. Here is the rest of my conversation with Lane Kiffin. Yeah, you mentioned Tulane looking like an SEC team, and Tulane came out with a tweet about them wearing their SEC championships back when they were in the conference. So physicality-wise, what do you see along their defensive front that's going to challenge your O-line, Coach?
I think how hard they play, and they rotate a lot of guys on their whole defense. So I think I read somewhere where he uses the return platoon, and you can see that. And they play really hard, and I think it paid off for them later in the Oklahoma game. They fell behind early, but I would bet they would say, they played better in the second half because, they weren't worn out.
I noticed you responded yesterday to Jordan Battle being asked about joke material from Coach Nick Saban there in Tuscaloosa. So do you have any kind of maybe some best joke material you could share with us that Coach Saban says to his team down in Tuscaloosa?
No, I retweeted that because I remember, I want to say it was Marlon Humphrey at first or something, said that to him, so he kind of picked up on it, and as the player referred to, he says it very often, and must still be doing it years later.
So if you didn't see the video last night, Marlon Humphrey said he was saying it on the practice field just as a joke, just to see if Coach Saban was listening. Well,
obviously he was.
He was.
Yeah.
All right, a Sports Center update right here, and then we will be right back. You still have time to register to win Bob's tickets for the Alabama-LSU game. Just come on up, fill out the form, and you've also got a chance to win a lunch bunch as well. Lunch for 6. Our weekly winner will be drawn right before we hand it over to Hey Coach at 6:30.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
Two Maids and a Mop. That's all you need to know to clean house. Two Maids and a Mop is an award-winning company, bonded and insured. Hire them for yourself, or they have gift cards if you want to make someone else's day. Find out more online at twomaidshuntsville.com. A maid service worth talking about. Two Maids and a Mop take care of everything. They supply all the cleaning equipment needed. Call 256-883-6243. The only finger you'll need to lift is the one to call them.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Sports Center.
Hello there. I'm Mark Robbins. The Giants and Washington. That's your Thursday night NFL matchup. A rainy day so far in D.C. Maybe the defenses are going to control things a bit. And when you talk about the Washington defense, you mentioned pretty quickly the name of Chase Young, dominant defensive lineman. Now, this isn't me talking. This comes from NFL Hall of Famer Warren Sapp.
Oh, my goodness. What a monster. I mean, the size, the speed, the power. I just want him a little more hostile and mobile. They get a little stiff every now and then. You got to keep them hips loose and flipping them hips and turning them cones. But, boy, does he have a great upside. Him, Myles Garrett. There's a bunch of those young guys that are just, oh, my goodness. I mean, gee, if I had their hands, I'd cut my hands and feet off.
That's Warren Sapp on Bart and Hahn earlier here on ESPN Radio. Ravens cornerback Chris Westry suffers a torn meniscus in his knee, becoming the 15th Ravens player to go on the injured reserve list.
Major League Baseball Thursday afternoon. Oakland with a big win, 7-2 over the Royals. In the National League, Reds matched up with San Diego and St. Louis in that wild card chase for the second spot. Reds at Pittsburgh get a sac fly in the 7th and beat the Pirates 1-0. Meanwhile, the Padres lead the Giants 7-2 in the 8th. So St. Louis, which doesn't play today, now leads the Reds by a half game for that second wild card spot. The Padres back by a game pending the outcome against the Giants. And the Braves and Rockies, well, they won't be playing tonight. They were rained out in Atlanta. Up next, Spain and Fitz.
Coming up Friday, we saw multiple rookie quarterback debuts last week. I'll tell you which has the most pressure on them this week to prove themselves. Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Friday morning on ESPN Radio.
.97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Back here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. You still have time to register for some tickets. Win Bob's tickets to the Alabama-LSU game. We got our prize box right in front of us. Just fill out the info, and away you go. I did also have yet to play some Q&A that I had with Ed Ogeron with SEC's teleconference, and this is the last question I asked Ed, and it's about the USC vacancy. That's a job that I'm sure he knows quite a bit about. And having coached at USC and knowing that job is open right now, if someone were to seek out advice for you on just what kind of job USC is, Coach, how would you respond to that?
One of the top jobs in the country. It's a great place, a great tradition, a great school. I enjoyed my 11 years here at USC. Whoever gets that job can recruit Los Angeles. It should be a great job for someone. But I'll tell you what, ain't nothing like being at the LSU Tigers.
That is...
Well, LSU's his home.
Yes. Yeah, there is no doubt he is at his dream job right now. 256-576-4977, the number to be a part of the program. Our Final 30 with DeArmond that you hear weekly here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill is presented by Environmental Comfort Systems. We are about to hit fall and the change of season, so give Environmental Comfort Systems a call to check it up for your heating and air cooling needs. Give them a call at 256-308-0032 or online at envcomfort.com. How are you, Drew DeArmond?
Good, Steve. Yeah, you're going to need it at the old Casa. Nothing like walking into it. It's 92 degrees.
Woo! Mercy.
Yeah, heat pump issues.
Well, will the heat be ramped up in Gainesville?
Oh, it'll probably be hotter than that. Probably very humid, very loud. I remember 10 years ago, probably it's been that long, but in 2011 when Alabama went over there and Florida hit a deep ball to start the game.
First play of the game.
Yeah, John Brantley hit a deep ball.
Actually, they jumped off sides. It's the second play of the game.
Yeah, and Drake Kirkpatrick got beat on that play, and the swamp was alive and electric, and then reality set in after that. But
well, I've actually watched that game recently. They played really good until they lost their quarterback.
Yeah, near the end of the half, John Brantley got knocked out of the game by Courtney Upshaw, and that basically quelled any chance that the Gators had.
And then they brought in, he was a freshman.
Driscoll.
Yeah. He was scared to death.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Will Anderson, any update?
Nothing's changed. By Monday, he wasn't limping. Tuesday, after an off day, he was out at practice. He's been out at practice every day, as far as I know, and have not heard of any setbacks. So I think he's going to be good to go. Jalen Armour-Davis, Josh Jobe. So I think Alabama will finally be whole defensively. And I say finally, they were whole against Miami. But I take that back now.
Brian Ray.
Yeah. Well, no, and DeMarco Helms. So
yeah.
Helms was back in the lineup last game. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see the debut of LeBron Ray. He's looked pretty good in drills, and then DeMarco Helms was back last week. He'll be in the lineup. And let's not forget, they did not have Brian Branch last week either.
That's
he got
right.
the week off. So I think all those guys will be back, and their secondary will be whole. And I think the Ventrell Miller injury is huge for Florida. I mean, he had 88 tackles last year. He's going to be out several weeks, so I think with that torn bicep. So I think that's going to hurt Florida. It's going to put more pressure on Jeremiah Moon. And I would not be surprised. I know the conversation has been the right tackle and Chris Owens, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nick Saban helps him with Kendall Randolph when they play a lot of two tights. And they're going to come out and try to run it at Florida. I think they're going to try to establish physicality, and then I would not be shocked if they win the toss if they take the ball. I think they want to try to deflate the swamp, and what I mean by that is score first, hammer them, then let your defense go to work. And if you can get up 10-14 in the first quarter, it's not going to be nearly as loud or as crazy as it would be. Because I think, to be honest, when you're on the road, you always want to start quickly, and certainly though, if you're Dan Mullen, you want to start fast and get that crowd lathered up. So if Dan wins the toss, I'm sure he'll take the ball. But again, if I'm Alabama, I want the ball first, and I want to establish my physicality, my dominance, and I want to take control in the first quarter.
So matchup-wise, what we saw in December compared to what we're going to see on Saturday, it feels like it's night and day.
Well,
I'm talking about Florida, especially offensively.
Well, you just need to go pop in one of Dan Mullen's tapes when he was at Mississippi State pre-Dak. I mean, and then post-Dak.
Could you see them kind of shrinking the ball a little bit and
of course
just trying to?
They're going to try to run the ball. I don't think they'll be that successful. I think Alabama will stop the run. What Alabama has to do first and foremost is stop the quarterbacks, because no matter which one is in there, they're going to run the QB. And you want to put them down in distance situations where it's second and third and long, because Emory has already thrown 4 picks, and Richardson has been electric, but again, he hasn't played against Alabama.
Hurt?
Yes, he pulled a hammy against.
If you pull a hammy and you're playing quarterback, you're a running quarterback, you're not playing.
Well, that's what I'm anxious to see. Nobody's really talked about if he's going to be available or not, or how available.
He pulled a hammy.
He pulled it on an 80-yard touchdown run against USF.
I saw it. It looked like it popped on him.
Yeah,
and
so
if it popped, it's like being shot.
So that's what I'm saying. If he's really banged up, then we're only going to see Emory Jones, and Emory is going to have a Steven Garcia type game.
Yeah.
But it's either him or Richardson for them to have a chance to beat Alabama, and then Alabama's going to have to be 2015 Ole Miss. They're going to have to turn the ball over 5 times. They're going to have Bill O'Brien channel Lane Kiffin with ignorant play calling down the stretch, which, I don't think will happen, because, if you've got Derrick Henry, you hand him the ball, you don't go brain dead. But luckily, Lane quickly fixed it and kind of got the train back on the tracks for the rest of that season. And so they were a different football team. But again, I just think Alabama's going to have to help Florida. I think Alabama's that much better than Florida, but they're going to have to be sharp. And again, you have a quarterback who's never been on the road, but if they protect Bryce Young, I think he'll play well.
You got a bunch of freshmen and sophomores that never been in front of a big crowd.
I'm actually
a hostile crowd. They have it.
I'm actually, if you ask me what am I most concerned about offensively besides helping out Chris Owens, it's the receivers. And I'm not saying, I think John Mechie will ball. I think he's a player. But Jamison Williams did not play well last week. And then the rest of these receivers have never been on the road in the SEC. Are they going to catch it? Are they going to have big eyes? Or are they going to be listening? Are they going to be locked in? Are they going to play well? I think JoJo Earl, I like his mindset.
Yeah.
But what about the rest of these guys? I've even heard this week that Bryce Young got on some of the young receivers about their preparation. You've got to prepare. You've got to be ready.
That's a good sign there.
But
of
leadership.
I don't know if you should take the ball if your defense is the best, better than your offense on the road. But I agree with you. You got to shut them up. But you do that by dominating. And the defense is capable of doing that, I think. But Dan Mullen's going to have they're going to make some plays up.
Yeah, and he'll have some wrinkles that he hasn't shown. We all understand that. What I'm wondering and what I'm thinking is, I've got this hunch that we're finally going to see Jaleel Billingsley back as a bigger part of the offense, and they don't have much film of them doing things with Billingsley. Latu's done a great job as a blocker and receiver. Kendall Randolph will block. We all know that. I would not be shocked if they end up flexing out Jaleel, and especially with Ventrell Miller being out with some inexperience and at the safety spots and at linebacker now. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of, I'll use an old Jack Dawes quote: check their oil and see where they're at. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Jaleel had a bigger role on Saturday.
It's a matter of time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Coach Saban spent so much time with the kid. I mean, they've put him on the field some. They haven't targeted him. It's about time for him to become a bigger part of the offense. And, again, they think so much of his athletic ability, he returns kickoffs. So they think he can play.
A tight end that returns kickoff.
So I just really think that they could give Florida some problems. I got Alabama covering 38-17. I haven't changed my mind. I think they had a good week of practice, and I think, Coach Saban got his point across. And, again, I think this is a good Florida team, but not a great one. I don't think Dan Mullen has the horses to beat Alabama or Georgia. I mean, Kentucky might even be better than them. Now, I don't want to get carried away here, because every time I do that, Kentucky will be Kentucky. But I think Kentucky's a good football team, and I think they've got a chance against the Gators and to be the second best team in this division. But certainly I think the Gators are in the top 3. But I just don't see them having the kind of firepower they did a year ago, where even when they're losing games, they're scoring in the high 30s and into the 40s, and they could score with Alabama. I don't think this group can.
We do need to take our one and only timeout as we'll continue our conversation with Drew DeArmond, live here from Baumhauer's Victory Grill.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Never mind fall and football being in the air. We want to taste it.
And never mind not being able to tailgate at the game. Let's create the ultimate barbecue experience in your own backyard.
You said it, Foster Brooks, and that's where Brooks & Collier comes in. Big selection of outdoor furniture.
And a big selection of grills and smokers like Traeger, Big Green Egg, Blaze, even DCS, and more.
This is the good stuff.
And Paul, we definitely got the accessories. And remember, we deliver. Visit us at 813 Meridian Street and shop online at brooksandcollier.com.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel & McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
This is Eli Gold. Coming up next is Hey Coach on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world. Closing time. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl.
Got a couple of games kicking off tonight that you can check out right here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. One NFL game is the Giants at the Washington football team. Washington is a 3.5-point home favorite in that one. Your college game here tonight features Louisiana. According to their game notes, that's all they're known as, Louisiana. They are the Ragin' Cajuns, not Lafayette. It's Louisiana, a 19.5-point home favorite to the Ohio Bobcats, who are 0-2 on the season. Lafayette 1-1 as that first week one matchup against Texas was a loss, and then backed that up with a win there for Lafayette, a narrow win at 27-24. That final score for Billy Napier's squad. That it did return quite a bit over Nicholls State, Drew.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten off to a little bit of a slow start, certainly, but they got a good shot at getting well against the Soliches tonight. Coach Solich is now retired, but due to health reasons.
Tim Albin.
Yeah, one of his assistants, I think his offensive coordinator, has taken over the program.
0-2.
Yeah, so they need to get a win here, need to be impressive. They can still win their league. I mean, I think Billy's built a great organization over there in the group of five, certainly. That was a tough matchup at Texas. They played hard, played decently well. And then I think probably, with the closeness of the Nicholls game, probably had something to do with a hangover. A lot of times there is one of those when you don't win a big game like that, or even if you do win one. Mm-hmm. It works both ways. I think it worked against Miami when they nearly lost to Appalachian, though Appalachian is in the upper echelon of group of five, okay?
They almost beat Miami.
I believe LeRon White's son is over there as a freshman, so they, Appalachian's a really good program, and they beat East Carolina soundly, who South Carolina had to come back from a 14-0 deficit to beat 20-17 on the final play of the game. So that's why South Carolina's a 30-point dog to Georgia. And I don't think Daniels will play this week. I think they'll play Bennett again. Bennett supposedly has a slightly injured back. I don't think Darnell Washington's going to be back. They've got some other skill guys still banged up, but Georgia's got plenty of talent to win that game convincingly. And trust me, after what happened in 2019 in Athens, they're not going to lack for motivation. They did smash South Carolina last year, but I'm sure they want to smash them again, especially with Arch Manning in the stands.
Well, that was another direction I did want to go to, and that is recruiting. and things are getting back to normal, I'll say, with that respect of how much on-campus visits do you think that's going to impact this recruiting cycle come December?
Well, I mean, I think it'll definitely play a factor. Like Coach Saban said, they started this summer, but they're able to show these kids the new facilities that they built in the Sports Science Center because really it was brand new. Yep. They allowed them to meet Matt Ray and David Ballou face-to-face, not on Zoom. Certainly you're around the kids in your program. You're around the new coaches. You've got a bunch of new offensive coaches you want to be around. You want to see Bill O'Brien interact with players. You want to see Doug Marrone, same deal. Marrone was known as a really good recruiter when he was in college football. Actually, he had a modicum of success at Syracuse as a head coach. He was a good recruiter for Philip Fulmer, at Tennessee. And I think Bill O'Brien also, when he was at Georgia Tech with Marrone and when he was, at Boston College and other places, BC and things of that nature, Bill was known as a personable guy and a good recruiter. He recruited well at Penn State. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, he made chicken salad out of chicken for 2 years before he decided to go to the NFL. And really – someone was asking me this today. They always want to know. I mean, I don't know why they don't just ride the wave, but they always want to speculate about who's going to replace Nick Saban. If Bill O'Brien has a good run in Tuscaloosa for, I think, at least a couple of years, because I don't think Bill will go back to the NFL unless it's the perfect situation. Now, I think he's probably learned his lesson about being buying the groceries and cooking them. But, I think he would have to be with a perfect general manager. And then program-wise, I think he would have to be at a Penn State-level program without sanctions. So I don't know what jobs he might be in the mix for, but I wouldn't be surprised if he and Doug Marrone cool their jets a little bit, or at least in Tuscaloosa 2 years. That would allow Greg Byrne and Alabama's people to get a long look at Bill. Mm-hmm. A few years ago, he was near the top of my list for the future, but I just wasn't sure, that he would leave the NFL. Now that he has, and he's shown the propensity that he's willing to do that, I think he'd be on the short list. Certainly if Mario Cristobal keeps developing as a head coach. Yeah. I mean, that was a huge win. But they nearly lost to Fresno the week before. So they have to follow this Ohio State road win and handle success. And if Mario Cristobal can get a third Pac-12 title, his stock's going to keep going up. And who knows, SC may talk to him as well.
Yeah, at least Vegas odds have Mario on that list.
Well, I can tell you this right now, and I think it was true.
James Franklin?
I think he was number one on Auburn's list, but decided he didn't want to go. Probably because he thought in his mind, if I keep doing what I'm doing in a few years, I might be on the other side. And I'd rather be on the other side than at Auburn. Auburn's a really good job, but Alabama's Alabama. So it's all about timing with jobs.
Yeah.
And I think Mario got the raise he was anticipating from the Oregon administration.
Talking with Drew DeArmond here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill. So point spread-wise, these are pretty comparable. Tell me what you think is going to be a more competitive game. Both games will be on the air this weekend. Start in Gainesville, a 15-point spread between Alabama and Florida. Move down I-4, down to Tampa. And the Falcons are a 13.5-point road underdog at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, there's no question that I think Tampa's going to win by 40. So I think the Falcons are on the clock with the first pick already. They're that bad. I think it'll be 45-3, something like that. I think the Falcons are just absolutely a horrible football team. I think Florida is a good team. I think Alabama's an elite team. I think it can be a game for a half,